Hey, this is Evan.
And this is Joe.
And this is the Nonsensory Podcast. On today's episode, I go into my impressions of The Last of Us Part 2 so far. We also talk about the latest Cyberpunk 2077 delay and new Mario the Origami King details. EA Play 2020 dumped an announcement for some new games like Star Wars Squadrons and a new skate game alongside some Madden 21 news. And we have our reactions. Finally, some first-party Sony news with new details on Ratchet and Clank: A Rift Apart and Horizon Forbidden West. So stick around and let's get into it.
Greetings and welcome to episode 12 of the Nonsensory Podcast. You can hear our soothing voices every week by finding us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, and Stitcher. But if you'd rather get a look at our beautiful faces, you can also find us on YouTube or come check out our regular Tuesday stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/nonsensory. That's right. When you're listening to this, you can then turn this off and watch us play some games. On social media, we tweet at Nonsensory1, and you can find us on our Facebook at Nonsensory Podcast. You can also support us on Patreon. Just go to patreon.com/nonsensorypod. We have 4 tiers of membership ranging from $1 to $20 and perks ranging from getting to vote in polls to getting to read a personal greeting at the start of our show. We'll have to get one of our wives to do that so that people can see what that is.
Speaking of polls, the highest perk that you can get is if you donate $1,000, you will get a video of me dancing with a pole. Whether you want that or not, I don't know. That might be a huge waste of your $1,000, but it's there.
You'll get something.
I really hope nobody calls me on that. If that's a thing that somebody expects me to do, we're so screwed.
I do believe that would be considered a contractual obligation because you just said it on film.
Terms and conditions apply.
So, Evan, what's up, buddy? What have you been up to?
So we got back from vacation. That was cool. I had a great time. I'm really sore, though, because we river rafted, and I got tumbled a ton because boats are fast. Let me tell you, boats are fast. But it's good to be back. Kind of got some family stuff out of the way for a little while, so I finally got to sit down, Joe, and play a video game.
That is good news.
It was liberating. That is the best word that I can use. It's liberating. So I've been playing The Last of Us 2. Some of you might have heard of this game.
Never heard of it. What?
It just came out on the 19th. So what? Friday. Yeah, it just came out Friday. So I got it Friday. I had some stuff that I had to do, and then I played it basically all day yesterday. I played it for 9 hours, and so far, oh boy, it is so good.
Awesome.
I don't want to say too much. There's a lot of spoilery things that I could say, but real quick, I'll just harken back to our conversation we had when we were going through our 10 best games of all time, and I talked about Red Dead.
Okay.
And how no other game has got an emotional response from me like Red Dead. It's on the same level as Red Dead.
Okay. All right.
It's fantastic. I can't wait to finish it.
I mean, I can, not having played that one, I can say the original definitely achieved that for me. So I can definitely see that they're quite capable as a studio.
It's been like an emotional roller coaster. I nearly cried. I found myself smiling like a freaking like an idiot, at certain points. And then it's just been like a roller coaster, man. It's just lows, highs, back to lows. I can't wait to see where it actually goes. 9 hours into a 30-ish hour game is not very far. It could definitely take like a left turn into bad territory, but so far, like, I'm just really happy with how it's unfolded. So.
Yeah. Good.
What about you, Joe? Anything going on? Besides Paper Mario hype.
So that'll come later.
All-consuming Paper Mario hype.
So we'll get into that later because we do have that as one of our articles.
That's coming.
But so I'll put that on the back burner. Today's Father's Day that we're recording.
Oh yes, Happy Father's Day, Joe.
Thank you, sir.
Audience, Happy Father's Day, Joe.
Yeah.
Happy Father's Day, Joe. Thank you.
No.
All right,
Happy Father's Day.
Calm down.
To all of the dads out there.
You guys are okay.
So we actually didn't record it all on Mother's Day Sunday.
Right.
And so we never put out Happy Mother's Day because we were actually with our moms, and I was with my wife and everything. So I guess belated Happy Mom's Day as well. Yeah. But it's not that we're like lessening moms. It's that we actually, like, despite being a dad, I'm still here in the booth. So it's anything, it's like less.
Yeah, we still got to do this.
Yeah.
I'm a dude. Gordon was so upset when I told him I had to work today. I was like, buddy, stop wagging your tail. But I got to go record this podcast. I know you wanted to like leave me a present in the yard, but it'll have to wait.
It'll have to be Colin.
He's his new dad. I'm like, you're not my real dad.
You're not my real dad. All right. Other than that, I mean, really, I actually reversed you. I haven't had like really any time to play video games. We did the stream. You were gone, so Colin and I did the stream on Tuesday, and we were like played like a half hour of Halo, and we were like, it feels weird without Evan. We're just gonna go. We'll do something else.
I'll never do this to you again.
So we ended up just jumping on to do more Modern Warfare.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and so we tried out that like big one that they have now, where it's like, it works kind of like Plunder in that you just keep coming back.
Blood Money or whatever it is.
But it's
been so long since I played.
No,
that.
They make it now so that like you can basically the whole map is open, and you can pick a loadout and drop in, but it's like
infinite respawns and stuff.
I think it's like, how many is it? It's like 80 v 80 or whatever, however much it is. Like how? Yeah.
Oh, that sounds tight. How do I not know about this?
No. Okay, so I thought it sounded cool too, but apparently, like, think about how the maps are laid out, and you can have any loadout you want. It's just everyone snipes.
Oh yeah.
It ends up being really lame.
That's how Battlefield was for me for a lot. Just like so many snipers.
But sorry.
But you go. I keep cutting you off. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I don't really have much to say in this segment. I started the new job over the week, and it's been fantastic. I wish I would have done it sooner.
Do you want to show the people the shirt?
Oh, the shirt my son and my wife got me. I mean, I kind of do, but I also got it stained up with coffee and beer.
I don't know if our camera's good enough that they'll notice. It's the Dadalorian.
And my son James has a shirt that says "The Child" and has like Baby Yoda popping up over the lettering. It's very cute.
So me and Eileen and Colin were talking that it's kind of a missed opportunity that we didn't get you a similar kind of father-son outfit where you just have Kratos' face and James just has boy. Because you love that so much. I was like, oh, that's perfect. Why
that would be awesome. Tell me that exists, because I can still make this happen.
I mean, if it doesn't exist, we can make it exist.
That needs to happen.
Maybe we'll save it for next year.
Okay, shall we launch in?
Yeah, let's get into the news.
All right.
There's a lot to discuss this week. Today's episode is brought to you by Tales from the Arcanist and thearcanist.io. The Arcanist serves up bite-sized science fiction, fantasy, and horror from independent authors all over the globe. Everything is about a 5-minute read or less, so these little bite-sized tales are easy to binge when you have a moment on your lunch break, or perhaps when you're planted firmly on the toilet. The Arcanist also has essays about modern culture, the art of writing, the history of fiction, and much more. Their weekly fiction podcast, Tales from the Arcanist, is a similarly bite-sized listen that collects 2 stories, one brand new and one from their archive, and delivers the spooky and strange fresh to your ears. To check out thearcanist.io or to submit a work of your own, visit the link in the description. You can find their podcast, Tales from the Arcanist, there as well, or find it on Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, or Apple Podcasts.
It's off to you first.
It's off to me first. Okay, our first bit of news is Cyberpunk 2077 has been delayed again. That's right. One of this year's and probably this generation's most looked forward to game has been delayed for another time. This is from Andy Chalk at PC Gamer. Cyberpunk 2077 is going to miss its planned September release date. CD Projekt announced today that the game is finished, both content and gameplay-wise, but it wants to take more time for balancing, fixing bugs, and polish, and so has decided to delay it to November 19th. Quote, the quest, the cutscenes, the skill trees and items, all the adventures Night City has to offer, it's all there, the studio said. But with such an abundance of content and complex systems interweaving with each other, we need to properly go through everything, balance game mechanics, and fix a lot of bugs. A huge world means a huge number of things to iron out, and we will spend the additional time doing exactly that. So Cyberpunk is the latest game from CD Projekt Red, who made the massively successful Witcher 3, that has gone on to spawn its own TV show and become kind of a cultural phenomenon. Quick bit of news that was not in there. It's kind of old, but with the fluctuating, with the way that stocks and stock markets fluctuate and stuff like that, CD Projekt Red actually overtook Ubisoft as the most valuable European video game developer.
Wow, that is impressive.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was like a month ago, but
I wonder if that's still true.
This is how far they've come, and Cyberpunk is just the hype around Cyberpunk is huge, and I'm fine with having to wait.
I really have. I'm skeptical that they can deliver at this point. Like the amount of hype that they've sustained this entire time, there's no way they're going to meet it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they go, because I think that with the enormity that people have like in mind for what Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be, if it doesn't deliver on all those things and give everybody everything that they want, like that people are imagining that they're going to be able to do, I think people might be a little let down. But I still think it's going to be a great game. CD Projekt Red has a great track record, so they haven't given me reason to doubt them yet. But
it might be one of those that suffers from hype,
right?
Where it's actually a perfectly decent game, but just because everyone's it's like it keeps getting pushed back and hype, and then by the time it finally comes, everyone's like, well, this wasn't worth the wait.
Oh yeah, I think they first put out the first teaser for Cyberpunk 2077 like 6-7 years ago.
Yeah,
so it's been off the charts since then. So
I think hopefully a lesson will be learned from this, that maybe like just don't announce something until it's a little closer. Like Paper Mario.
Well, the next bit of news which you can take is an annual franchise that people kind of know what to expect from.
Yeah, so Madden 21 is coming to Steam.
Mm-hmm.
So this one's, it's kind of cool. I don't think either one of us are like huge sports, but that's kind of big.
So I go ahead and we'll discuss after the article.
After the deal, this is an article by Andy Chalk at PC Gamer. After delaying the announcement of Madden NFL 21 earlier this month out of respect for protests against police violence and racism, Electronic Arts has now officially unveiled the game. NFL MVP Lamar Jackson. I'm sorry. I missed the period.
No,
so anyway, MVP Lamar Jackson on the cover, and inside players will find new features, including a Face of the Franchise Rise to Fame documentary career mode.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, I'm like, more than 50 new superstar and X Factor abilities, new offensive and defensive gameplay mechanics, and team playbooks that will be updated based on new schemes and new plays utilized during the real-life NFL season. Okay, brief pause.
Yes.
I haven't played a Madden since I think maybe Madden 2004, just for a record.
I also share that, but I did recently play one of the newer Maddens, and I really, really enjoyed it. Okay. So I think that I would be interested in maybe trying this out, especially if it came to something like Game Pass, or not Game Pass, but like the EA's Origin Access thing.
We'll come back to this. Let's finish out this article. Maybe the biggest change, though, is that it's on Steam. That is cool. Origin is still EA's PC storefront of choice, naturally, but all 3 editions of the game, the Standard, the Deluxe, and the MVP, which includes 3 days of early access, 12 Madden Ultimate Team Gold Team Fantasy Packs, and other in-game swag, which means, loot boxes, are also available for pre-purchase on Steam. In fact, it's headlining the Steam front page right now. Who knows if it'll still be right now, because, that this is Tuesday.
At the time of writing, it was.
Yeah. NFL 21 is currently the only Madden game on Steam, and it arrives as part of a major move by EA back back onto the platform. EA finalized a partnership with Valve in October 2019 to bring its games to the platform, a process that began with the release of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, but it picked up major steam earlier this month with the release of 2 big batches of games, including Dragon Age Inquisition, Need for Speed Heat, Battlefield 5, Star Wars Battlefront 2, and many others. EA also said that future games would be released on Steam as well as Origin, and since it followed through on that promise with Madden NFL 21, it seems likely that we can expect the same for FIFA 21 when it's announced. The subscription-based EA Access service is also on the way to Steam, although we're still waiting on details about that. Madden NFL 21 is slated to be out on August 28th. Okay. What does this mean for Origin?
I don't know what this means for Origin, because they're still going to put the game out on Origin. I just think that they're really coming to the realization that Steam is just going to keep being huge, and that they're not really offering up anything that's going to compete in any meaningful way. So why not, put it on the biggest storefront on PC and see what happens? I think that initially EA really wanted to carve out their own niche and try to maybe not. I think it's foolish to ever think that they were going to overtake Steam, but I think that maybe they had that in mind. And it's been many years since Origin launched, and I just don't see them really. I think the sales that they could gain from having something on Steam is more worth it than they initially thought it would be.
Okay. This is it's barely related, but just as an aside real quick. I feel like what I'm going to do now, personally, I feel like we're heading in this direction where games on PC and TV and movies on with streaming services, we're getting to this point where every single network has their own streaming service. Soon, every studio is going to have their own streaming service for games. I'm going to pick one or two and just stick with them. And if something comes out on a separate service that I don't have, I'm not doing it. I'm done. I'm going to have Epic, I'm going to have Steam, and anyone else, whatever.
I think a bunch of these publishers joined a marketplace that, it was Steam and then nobody else, right? And then Ubisoft started Uplay, Origin started, and then a couple years later down the road, Epic has Fortnite, comes and bulldozes them all. And now it's not. Oh, let's make a service to catch up to Steam so much as we can't even catch up to Epic, the Epic Game Store now.
Right. So, but I just feel like we're beginning to head in this direction where maybe everyone's going to try to have the streaming services are out of control. Okay, it's absurd. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to start just limiting myself to if it's not here or here, I'm done, because if we don't give them that, this is way out there in left field. I apologize, but if we don't patronize those stores, then they'll fall off, and we'll have you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's getting to the point where to be able to watch everything you want to watch, you have to pay as much as you would to have cable anyway.
Right.
Which was the whole point of streaming services. So
yeah. The only reason it's not, absurdly expensive for a lot of people is because they share accounts and stuff like that.
Right. I mean, I think Hazel totaled up what we pay for the streaming services that we have. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I mean, not counting the ones that we don't share with anyone else, we're paying over $60.
Yeah.
Which isn't anything compared to cable, but still, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is.
It's insane.
Yeah, especially when you thought, I'll pay $15 and have everything I ever want to watch. And it's well, no, it's not anymore. So hopefully games don't get to that point.
So we took a long detraction on that one, but to get back to it, so tell me what NFL did you play? What Madden?
I think it was 19.
Okay.
Either 18 or 19. But I played it, and I stopped playing Madden because it was just recycled over and over again. It felt like it was. And then, not playing it for a long time, it was kind of like, oh, this is still fun. So like I wouldn't mind checking it out. I don't know if I'd buy it.
Not for $60. I've never felt any sports game was worth $60. I mean, I understand the effort they put in, but it's
right. Well, it's kind of, it's like if you play it enough, it's worth it. But I don't know if it would hook me enough to go back and play it for more than like, it'd be cool to go to a friend's house and play Madden for a couple weeks or whatever. But eventually I'd get kind of bored. So
I think it was 04. The last one I played, I can't remember the exact year. I think it was 04, but they had introduced an almost like fantasy football style like thing with it.
Yeah.
And you could jump in and play the games, or you could just simulate but just, keep track of how your team was doing and like manage the team. And I know there's a lot of different things that you can do that with,
I think they have carried on a lot of that stuff.
That, like, if you and I could do that, or we can get some of our buddies in there to do that too, that would be cool. I still don't know if I'd pay $60 to do it, though.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's still not like you're saying. It's still not something I would want to pay $60 for. I don't think.
Yeah.
But in other Madden news, though,
should I hit the button, or is this still?
Oh yeah, go ahead. In other Madden news, we have a new Madden 21 to offer free next-gen upgrades on PS5 and Xbox Series S. This is from Eli Blumenthal at CNET. After briefly showing off Madden 21 during May's Xbox Series X event, EA Sports on Tuesday revealed its first real trailer for its forthcoming NFL game due out on August 28th. Showcasing new ball carrier and pass rush controls, the new trailer's graphics and gameplay were based on the current generation of consoles. Fans who plan to switch to the Xbox Series X or PlayStation 5, however, will be able to upgrade their digital Xbox One or PlayStation 4 copies for free. In a statement, EA says that it has reached partnerships with both Microsoft and Sony to offer dual entitlement, where a Madden 21 Xbox One or PlayStation 4 buyer will be able to upgrade for free to Madden 21 on Xbox Series X or PlayStation 5 for no additional cost. EA says the offer will be available all the way through the Madden NFL 21 season up to the release of Madden NFL 22 to give gamers time to buy the new systems. Those who buy a physical version of Madden 21, however, will not be able to upgrade.
Oh, so only physical copies?
No. Only digital copies will be able to upgrade.
Only digital.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That is really cool. Why they're limiting it to digital only, I'd like to know.
And maybe it's just something to do with the discs. I think that because then you're dealing with having to actually go back to a retailer.
Maybe.
With the digital version, it's basically just like EA and Microsoft and Sony working together to make that happen. But if you go and you buy the physical copy at Walmart, and then what are you going to do? Take it back
half the time the game's not even on the disc anyway. So why couldn't it just be updated?
I guess that's true. Why couldn't it? Maybe that's just not how Maybe that's not how it works with physical media versus the digital. Like if I buy a game digitally, it's tied to my account. But if I just install.
Yeah, because I suppose you could pass it off to your buddy. Your buddy installs it, then gets free updated,
right.
And then I get you.
But it is a nice gesture, and I think that's going to happen probably with a lot like NHL and I think they're doing it with FIFA too, probably.
Speaking of NHL,
just sadness. There's nothing really to say, just sadness.
Well, that's anything. If you're into any actual live sports, I guess terrible right now.
Maybe if there are no live sports, then maybe I will check out these sports games.
Yeah, maybe
be only interaction with sports I have.
Or you're just gonna watch nothing but you'll Twitch, like Twitch streaming sports.
Well, you said when you played Madden before that it had almost like a fantasy football-esque thing.
Yeah.
So now, if football doesn't get played, then I won't have fantasy football. So then I can actually use Madden to play fantasy football. And it could be different for everybody. That's
this brain right here. I'm in love with this brain.
Get a hold of me. Somebody that makes decisions.
Nonsensorypod@gmail.com.
You know what's not sad? Like no sports? Spider-Man.
In an article from Joe Scribbles, our boy,
Scribbles.
I lost all my energy for that one. Spider-Man Miles Morales plot details leaked. Insomniac has revealed plot details for the upcoming Spider-Man Miles Morales on PS5 and revealed that the studio will continue to tell the story of its Peter Parker in future. Described by creative director Brian Horton on the PlayStation blog, Miles Morales is set a year after the events of Marvel's Spider-Man. The standalone follow-up kicks off just before Christmas as a street war kicks off between an energy corporation and a high-tech criminal army. Harlem, where Miles lives now, is in the middle of that war, and he sets out to put a stop to it. Insomniac says the new game will include a new story with new set pieces, fresh villains, and unique quests across Marvel's New York City. Along the way, Miles will discover new powers that set him apart from Peter Parker's Spider-Man, and we've already seen both his Venom Strike and invisibility powers shown off in the reveal trailer, which was awesome. Per a new trailer recap video from Insomniac, Miles is being described to feel distinct from Peter Parker in the first game. Aside from his differing powers, Miles' combat and traversal animations will be brand new. Perhaps most interesting, Miles' lower confidence in being a superhero will be reflected in how he
He's web slanging. Slanging.
how he web swings, with hero animator James Ham pointing out that he flails around more while swinging. Insomniac makes clear that this game is entirely about Miles Morales, who is a critical part of our Spider-Man universe, but the studio also hints that the original Spider-Man will return, saying we still have much of Peter's story left to tell. Horton also explains that the first game's director, Brian Intihar, continues to imagine big things for the Marvel Spider-Man universe. It's certainly not a confirmation of Peter Parker-centric Spider-Man 2, but it definitely feels like a hint at one. Horton also briefly discusses the PS5 tech being used to bring the new game to life, which will include near instant loading, ray tracing, 3D audio, and the DualSense controller. Character models should look more realistic, and even the returning New York City has apparently been updated for its PS5 debut. Horton doesn't cover the size of the game. However, after some confusion, Insomniac confirmed the game would be a standalone release, but reports have said that it will be a smaller game than the first, similar in scope to other expand-alones like Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. Spider-Man Miles Morales is due for release on PS5 this holiday. So, Evan, this
yes.
right here, do you think at some point with their their departure to Miles Morales, do you think that we could maybe get a Spider-Gwen later? Because,
I mean, it would be cool, especially if they somehow do like what they did with Into the Spider-Verse and kind of combine them all and make them like a spider crew. Because I really like the old Batman games, like Batman Arkham Knight and Arkham City. And in Arkham Knight, they eventually had all your friends just join you, and you'd fight alongside them and stuff too at certain points in the game. And I think it'd be really cool if they went along and did something like that, where other versions, like Miles shows up and you fight alongside him, and possibly like you were saying, Spider-Gwen and stuff like that.
Peter B. Parker.
Yeah, Peter B. Parker.
He'll have the gut and everything. It'll be great.
So good. I hope, what was it, Bradley Cooper?
I think so.
I think he did the voice. I hope he shows up and does the voice for him too. That'd be awesome.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
But I'm pretty excited. I think that it's smart that they're coming out and basically saying, like, giving people exactly the expectations that they need to have, right? They're saying that it's going to be a smaller game. They're saying that it's going to be basically like something that was able to be done mostly on PS4, but is upgraded to like look better. It's smart that they're not trying to sell this as like some entirely new big Spider-Man experience. I think that they're just kind of like they're saying it's like an expand-alone, like Uncharted: Lost Legacy. It's not supposed to be like its own full game, and I think that that's good because you don't want people to get like all excited thinking it's going to be like some huge new game like the original Spider-Man.
Yeah, I'm excited. Does this mean that you can play it by itself, or do you have to still have?
Oh no, this will
Spider-Man?
still be it'll still be its own. That's why they say expand alone.
Okay,
because it'll stand alone. But
is it kind of like so Last of Us, the original, when that DLC dropped, you could jump right into it.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have to. Is it going to work kind of like that?
Yeah, I think so.
Because that would be cool. Because if you're like, I'm just going to play the Miles Morales.
Yeah, I don't think that there will be. It'll be interesting to see if there are any sort of like save, like if you could import your save from the previous game and maybe like, but probably not. I think it's just going to be its own.
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
So.
I'm gonna start holding my breath for Spider-Gwen starting now.
Yeah, don't, Joe. God, Joe, scaring me here.
Okay, this one is on you.
Yes, this one, Horizon Forbidden West is shooting for a 2021 release date. This is from Matt Kim at IGN. Horizon Forbidden West was announced at the PlayStation 5 event last week, and Sony has released a small follow-up dive into the Horizon sequel that reveals a few more tidbits, namely that the Guerrilla Games is aiming for a 2021 release date. Horizon Forbidden West is a sequel to 2017's Horizon Zero Dawn. Wow, how'd they release
Right?
How'd they release an update to a game that isn't even out yet? Horizon Zero Dawn from 2017, which is set in a post-apocalyptic world overrun by machine wildlife. Horizon Forbidden West will follow the protagonist Aloy as she ventures westward. Forbidden West director Matthias Dijon,
I think it's just Mathis Dijon,
shared the same trailer that was shown at the PS5 event, but offered some director commentary. Dijon says that thanks to the PS5's SSD, there will be virtually no loading screens. So if you open a map to fast travel, you'll be able to do almost instantaneously. And while Guerrilla Games hasn't announced a release date, Horizon Forbidden West won't be a launch title for the PS5, which is set to be released this holiday. Instead, Guerrilla is aiming for a 2021 release for the sequel. I think it's funny because they said the same thing in the Spider-Man Miles Morales thing. It's instantaneous, virtually no load screens. It's really like I feel like they're going to make all these first-party studios really push that because that's a huge selling point for the PS5 is to make sure that you mention the loading screen.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely getting that impression. I just I hope they're not overselling it because the title of the article is can you scroll up?
Horizon Forbidden West aiming for 2021 release, no loading screens.
No loading screens. That is an oversell.
Yeah, I don't think that you like you don't want to oversell it like you're saying. I think because if you say there's going to be no loading screens and then there's a loading screen, or if people do like the tech people, they go in and they go through and analyze everything and they say, well, actually there are loading screens, they're just being hidden here and here and stuff like that.
Yeah,
then that's going to upset people.
Oh, yeah.
Like, why'd you lie to us, Sony? Why'd you do that?
I think it's very key if you listen to what they're actually saying. It's always quote virtually no loading screens,
right?
Unquote.
So they're definitely saying there's going to be some sort of loading screen.
Yeah, but will it be fast? As I have said many times already on this podcast, if you go back and play Horizon, you will have no loading until you fast travel or you go into a dungeon. Mm-hmm. Like it loads the whole map, and then you have the items popping in as you walk along.
The initial loads are always ridiculous.
Yeah, it takes forever, but then you're in the whole world.
That's how The Last of Us is too. Is whenever I mean, they still have to load new areas and stuff, but if I want to restart an encounter or restart a checkpoint, it's like that.
Yeah,
it's really fast, and I really appreciate that because I've been trying to do a stealthy mostly run, and I've been trying to conserve all my resources and stuff. And so if I get into an encounter and I make it through, but I kind of fudge it up and I want to I'll use 2 Molotovs and a sticky bomb, and I really want to save those in case I really need them for something else. Then I'll go back and reload the encounter and play through it again to see if I can do it any more stealthily.
You're sounding a lot like how I play it.
Oh, I love playing it like that. Yeah. And it's really cool that you can it's just like I said, it's like that. It's instantaneous.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see what they can do because it's already pretty impressive what you can have loaded. Mm-hmm. So if you can have it load that much faster,
right,
and have more loaded at once,
right.
I mean, it's it could be pretty impressive. I I know we kind of breezed over the whole Horizon part. I mean, we knew it was coming. I kind of had a feeling it would be 2021. I don't think there's really too much newsy in here.
Yeah, if they were going to, if any of these games that they showed were going to be available for launch, other than the ones that they said that were going to be available for launch, I think they would have said it, because that just helps you sell the console better.
Yeah.
So, like, if Horizon was going to be a 2020 title,
it would have been
definitely
like
would have said
2020.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but I think this is more reassuring people that it's not years off.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, it's not going to be there for launch, but you won't have to wait that long. Are you a fan of wrestling that lives in the Pittsburgh area? Do you enjoy punk rock? How about diversity and inclusion? Well, Enjoy Wrestling, a new promotion set to launch in 2020, is here for you. Though they're a startup, the folks at Enjoy have years of experience booking punk shows, promoting bands, and putting out records. They're also pretty well versed in wrestling, too, having done commentary, videography, graphic design, and social media for many high-profile independent companies. Enjoy Wrestling wants to bring the most talented wrestlers out there to Pittsburgh, regardless of gender, race, or sexual orientation. That same ethos applies to their audience as well, as they strive to create an inclusive and diverse wrestling community aimed at developing a supportive environment for marginalized fans. You can find Enjoy Wrestling on Twitter @EnjoyWrestle, on Instagram @Instagram.com/EnjoyWrestling, or you can contact them directly via email at enjoywrestlingpgh@gmail.com.
This bit of news has me excited.
Oh, yes.
EA announces new Skate game. My page is jumping around all over the place. Hold on. Okay, this is by Samit Sarkar at Polygon. A new Skate game is in development at EA. The company announced Thursday during EA Play Live 2020. The announcement came at the end of the show as a one more thing from game director.
You're really animated today, dude. I love it.
I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm a little loopy from like tiredness, or I don't know. From game director Duran Chung and creative director Chris Cuz Perry, both of whom are veteran developers on the Skate franchise. We're back. We're doing it. Skate's happening. We're rolling, said Perry. We secretly got together. It's the beginning. The Skate evolution continues. We've been waiting years. Why are you doing this? Honestly, to make the right game at the right time with the right idea, and really, really pleased to say that we're here, said Chung. Perry and Chung didn't provide any information on timing or platforms for the game, saying only that it's very early in development. The most recent Skate game was Skate 3, all the way back in 2010. Wow, I didn't realize it was that long.
Yeah, there was never one made for the PS4 or Xbox One.
Wow, that was so long ago. Yeah. Okay. These quotes from these guys, he sounds like they both sound like they're just stoned out of their minds. The sentences don't make any sense.
It's
like the beginning.
You got to talk to the Skater Bros.
Yeah,
what
man.
would the Skater Bros want to hear? Oh, dude, we're back. We're doing it, dog. Skate's happening. We're rolling.
There you go. And now it sounds good.
The Skate evolution continues, bruh. But I think that it's hilarious because, like, I'm reading between the lines of all of these quotes, and it's we've been waiting to make the right game at the right time. That means whenever everybody got really excited about Tony Hawk, then they were like, "Oh, we can make skate games again. Cool." They just needed somebody else to show us that it was profitable. Yay! That's how I feel about it. It's like,
I don't know. I think that's a little bit.
It's cynical of me.
Yeah, that's very cynical. Because Skate was hugely popular.
It was, and then they just didn't make them, and I don't know why they stopped making them. This is like, so that's why for me it's like, why now?
Yeah, I don't know.
After the internet blew up over Tony Hawk 1 and 2 remaster, I feel like they saw that, and they're saying that it's very early in development, almost like a couple months. Like I don't know.
You could be right.
I cannot confirm nor deny. But my bro Craig over here, or whatever his name is,
my bro Craig,
my bro Darren over here, Darren and Cuz.
Okay, I'll give you that one. It does have that feel, doesn't it?
If I was making a guess, I would say that it's all about trends in the gaming industry, Joe.
Yeah,
I say from my Middle bedroom.
Last take, though, is that I have, like, Tony Hawk does have a special place in my heart. I think it does for everyone. It was, like, the first. They're fantastic.
Too many things have places in your heart, Joe.
No, that may be true. My heart's
You gotta
just
be-
like,
your
there's
heart
so many
has
different
to be-
pieces.
I mean, I know Joe. His heart is huge.
It is. Thank you for saying that. That's really sweet, actually.
I mean, the doctors are concerned. They think you have an enlarged heart. That's what I'm trying to say. Stop eating pork.
Okay. But Skate is fantastic. I loved all the skates. So
I was never good at them.
Skate,
They're too complex for me.
there was a Skate It, was what it was called when it was on Wii. Was fantastic because you could just take your hand and do all kinds of craziness. It was fun.
What do you call that? And you're just like, my elbow broke. 420.
So
Darren and Cuz are like 420. What, bro?
hey, bro.
We're very excited about that coming up in the future. Thank you.
Moving on.
I'm excited about this one. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart lets you play as the female Lombax from the trailer. This is from Jordan Gerblick at Games Radar. The new Lombax seen in the PS5 trailer for Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is a playable character, Insomniac Games has confirmed. Insomniac took to Twitter today to add this one key detail about their series' newest character, who took the internet by storm when she premiered in the reveal trailer for Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. The long-awaited return of Ratchet and Clank made its big debut at last week's PS5 reveal event. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is an upcoming PS5 game, just a brand new full-length interdimensional. We know this. Then, at the end of the trailer, a silver female Lombax from another dimension is introduced. The series has always been about the titular Lombax and robot, but now it seems Insomniac's game is throwing another personality into the mix. And not only is she a featured character, we know she's fully playable as well.
They only use that word so that they can be sexist.
She's super titular. I'm telling you, dude, it's freaking Darren. It's Darren and Cuz coming back. Oh, dude, she's so titular, dude. Lombax.
Okay. So this was exactly what we were hoping for, because I didn't want to have Ratchet taken away, but did want to be able to play as her. So this is exactly what I was hoping for.
Yeah, it doesn't say like how much she'll be involved, but that you'll get to play as her, which is cool.
Yeah.
And I wonder, because it seems as though, you know, Clank gets thrown into another dimension with her. And I wonder if that means that maybe there's
storylines?
Either split storylines or maybe, I think you could, split storylines. And also, I don't think that it's like, okay, Clank is with her now. I think it'll be like, if there's a different Lombax in this different dimension, then shouldn't there be a different Clank in Ratchet's dimension? So maybe they'll have a different Clank too. I don't know.
That could be cool.
It seems like if that was the conceit, that they would have showed it in the trailer.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'll keep my hopes up.
1,700 games for racial justice and equality bundle raises over $8 million. This is by Jordan Sirianni at IGN. Am I reading that right?
Itch.io.
1,700 game bundle for racial justice and equality raised over $8.1 million during its 10 days of availability. Nearly 815,000 people purchased the bundle, which required a minimum donation of $5. The money raised will be split evenly between the NAACP Legal Defense and Educational Fund and Community Bail Fund, according to itch.io. The bundle included 1,704 games, including Night in the Woods and Celeste. Celeste? Wow.
Oh, man. I would have bought it if I knew that Celeste was on it.
Maybe
I still can.
Maybe.
Dude.
It says during its 10 days of availability.
Oh, man. Celeste is such a good game. Everybody go play Celeste.
Yeah. Yes. And if you aren't sure, watch someone stream it on Twitch. It's fantastic.
Or just go listen to the soundtrack because it's also incredible.
Valued at over $9,300. That's insane. We live in a time of racial injustice quote, we live in a time of racial injustice, inequality, and police brutality against black people. reads an excerpt from the Bundles webpage. Sorry, Bungie. We hope that everyone takes a stand in any way that they can. We've partnered with creators from all across our platform to support organizations that are working directly with those affected. Okay.
This is such a feel-good story.
Yes. I'm definitely in. So we had a whole episode.
We had a bunch of applesauce.
We had a bunch of applesauce. We had an entire episode where we well, actually, to be fair, it wasn't the whole episode, but we did have an episode where we dedicated our Nonsensory recommends towards Black creators, and we talked about these things. When you hear so many voices crying out, you have to wonder. You have to start to ask yourself, is there something that I'm not seeing? Seeing people take action is good. Mm-hmm. One thing that I think is disheartening is hearing about people who are committing crimes getting bailed out. That, it has me skeptical. The NAACP Legal Defense and Educational Fund, that I've heard about for a long time. And I'm all about it. I love that they're getting, raising money for them. That's fantastic. I don't know about this community bail fund, and it's okay. I know people are totally opposed to people saying you don't know, but I don't know. I've never heard of it. I don't know what they do. So I'm not gonna throw my weight behind it. But the NAACP Legal Defense and Educational Fund, that's fantastic. $8.1 million. That's huge. Hopefully some people can get the support that they need.
Yeah, hopefully they take the money that they've that they've gained from this bundle and use it to better educate people.
Yeah,
I think that's the best thing that you could probably do with it, is to just use it to get the word out and talk more about these issues.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is a wonderful thing. And wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, I had to throw that in there because that number blew me away. Because you're saying the minimum donation is $5. Most people are donating that.
Yeah.
So,
and they still hit that mark. That's huge.
Nearly 81. We can figure it out right now.
Pulling out the calculator.
Yeah, there it is. I have to type it in. It's usually right there. Okay, so what?
It was 815,000 people.
Divided by...
That's an average of $10 a person.
Right. So, yeah, that's insane. Holy crap.
When you consider that most people are putting in that $5, that means every once in a while someone's chucking in $1,000.
See, good on people. Cynics love to say that people don't give a crap. People care.
No,
and they put their money where their mouth is.
Every half a year, when GDQ does an event, I am staggered by the amount of money that they raise. And they do it every 6 months, and people every 6 months are just throwing money in there.
Yeah, I think video games are a great avenue for this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think
even with just like you're talking about with games done quick, people watching and stuff like that. Not just that, but even offering these. Since there's so much digital media where you can kind of cut out having to actually make discs and all that stuff, you can offer stuff for cheaper.
Yeah.
And granted, 1,700 games, a lot of them aren't, huge games that many people would even pay for.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're only really...
It's actually probably a good way for some smaller studios to be it's a decent game. We know you wouldn't look us up normally.
Right, yeah. And I think that's a lot of what Humble Bundle does.
Yeah.
Is they'll throw in a bunch of games that are lesser known and stuff like that. And hope that the value gets you attracted to it. And so it's definitely going to benefit some of these smaller games and just getting exposure too.
Yeah,
but at least it's for a good cause. So.
Yeah, I'm staggered. I think it's a good thing that they're doing there.
You know what's not good for the public health? Mortal Kombat.
Okay, so I think this is you.
This is me. This is me. Job listing suggests that next-gen Injustice / Mortal Kombat seemingly in the works. This is from Jeremy Winslow at GameSpot. The next generation of consoles, the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, are nearly upon us. And while we've seen some games for both systems, the fighting game genre has been absent from many of these early announcements. Fighting game developer NetherRealm Studios seems to be leading the push for next-gen brawlers, with a brand new job listing hiring for someone to bring Injustice and Mortal Kombat to PS5 and Xbox Series X. The listing, spotted by Event Hubs, simply states that NetherRealm Studios is looking for a principal software engineer to work on graphics that will drive the next-generation console graphics vision for the Mortal Kombat and Injustice franchises. This person will work on, quote, developing state-of-the-art graphics technology for the PS5 and Xbox Series X, with particular attention to optimization, design, and implementation of pivotal new graphics technologies. I'm guessing that means like ray tracing and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But there's no definitive mention in the job listing that NetherRealm was working on new entries for either Injustice or Mortal Kombat. Furthermore, there's no clarification that the studio has plans to port either Injustice 2 or Mortal Kombat 11 to the PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X.
Okay, so buried there in the very last paragraph, they're saying that whether or not it's Injustice or Mortal Kombat is completely speculative.
Well, yeah, but also they say there's a quote that says that it'll drive the next generation console graphics vision for the Mortal Kombat and Injustice franchises. So
that's weird.
I think the only reason they mentioned it at the end is because they're not sure if it'll be a port or if it'll be a brand new game.
Oh, I mean,
because it could be just a port with better like implemented ray tracing and 4K and all that stuff.
So did you see that article? Like, I don't know. I'm not one of these people that believes that video games drive violence. I actually have the tendency to believe that video games actually help people who would normally be violent channel their aggression
I would have
into.
totally ran my car into something in anger by now if it weren't for Grand Theft Auto.
Oh no, I really think that video games help people who have anger issues channel their aggression in more healthy ways. And it has been shown, studies have shown that PTSD can actually be cured by, well, not cured, but dealt with, handled by like ex-soldiers and people who are in car accidents or whatever, actually playing Call of Duty and things.
Yeah, if you saw your buddy Jeb get blown up in Iraq, just go rip out some spines in Mortal Kombat.
What I'm trying to say is there was an article that was talking about somebody who was having... I mean, it was more than one person, but they were talking about working on Mortal Kombat. I think it was 11, and they were talking about having to like study crime scene photos and things like that to try to get the gore as realistic as possible, and they couldn't sleep because they're haunted by these things.
I read that too. Yeah, I never considered that.
Yeah.
Like how it affects the people that work on it?
Yeah, like, because you have to think, like, how many hours a day are you dedicating to? I mean, just this is the part that bugs me. Like, playing Mortal Kombat so much, like, it's not for me, but, like, who cares? Like, that's not what I mean either. I can understand if you can handle playing something that's violent, that's fine. Mm-hmm. Like, that's not for me. But if you can handle that, that's cool. Okay? But the person who has to stare at a screen for 500 hours and program someone's head getting lopped off as realistic as possible, like, how does that affect your...
Well, and I think that there's the easy thing that people would say to that is, going in that you're making a Mortal Kombat game. So, like, you should expect that you're going to be dealing with a bunch of gore and stuff. And I think that people don't consider that maybe people are aware of that, and they say to themselves, like, yeah, I can handle it. And then they get into it, and it's more than what they wanted to deal with. And they're people that have to feed their families. They get a good job at NetherRealm, and they're making a decent amount of money. That maybe they're from someplace else, and they move there, and they start up this whole new life there, and then they start doing this job, and they're like, I'll be fine with all this gore. And then they get into it, and it's too much for them. But they're, like, pressured, like, I can't quit this job. I have to think about my family and stuff. So then they stick through it, and then they come out of the other side just like worse off. So it's not as simple as just it's not as simple as we'll just don't do it then. It's like, well, life isn't that simple.
You're right. I'm not trying to throw any kind of shade at it. I'm trying to introduce another perspective.
I know you weren't. I was providing the generic perspective that I get all the time whenever somebody complains
Right.
about how tough their job is, and then everybody goes, "Well, then just don't do it." And
Yeah,
you're just
because
like,
it's
"That's
that
not-"
easy.
Yeah, exactly. It's not
Yeah.
just that easy. Yeah.
I will throw this out there again. I was extremely fortunate to be able to leave the garage I was at and just immediately start up somewhere else. Yeah, that was cool. I only just wish I would have done it sooner. So I think we'll move on here. This is on me, right?
Yes. Take on Joe. It's on you, Joe.
Star Wars Squadrons, a first-person space combat game from EA, officially revealed. Launches October 2nd for $40 and without microtransactions. Okay. We've done a lot of EA.
Well, they did just have their whole conference.
Yeah, okay. That would be why. Okay. This is Jeff Grubb at VG 24/7. My computer keeps scrolling further than I intend to. Okay. Electronic Arts revealed the first gameplay of its upcoming space combat game, Star Wars Squadrons. It's beer. Very bubbly.
I'm leaving that in. I don't care what you say.
The publisher revealed the vehicle-based battler following leaks last week. Now, during its EA Play event as part of Not E3. What is this? Please help me out. What is Not E3? We can take a break from the article real quick.
Not E3. Oh, I don't know. It's just them being funny in the article, I think.
Okay.
Because everybody's having their stuff around where E3 would have been, but they're all like, it's totally not E3, but it is E3.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. It finally showed it in action. Star Wars Squadron is launching October 2nd for PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One for $40. At that budget price, Squadron includes a single-player campaign, but the focus is on multiplayer. For the narrative, you get two pilots that provide opposing perspectives on the story. One is a New Republic pilot. The other is a pilot for the remaining Imperial forces. As a member of the New Republic Vanguard Squadron, it is up to you to mop up the Imperial fleet. The Squadrons also supports VR in every mode, and now we know more about what the game actually looks like.
Did something scare you, Joe? That's what it sounded like.
I got a little bit. It's the beer.
Do you want me to take over while
This
you
is good stuff. No, I've got it. I'm on it.
while you gas?
The game has 8 ships. These include fighters like X-Wings and TIEs, as well as bombers and more. You can, of course, customize your ship. This includes cosmetic improvements, but you can also build your own weapon loadout as well. Once you have your vessel, you can take it into battles where you must work together with your squad to win. This includes modes where you team up with either other people or computer-controlled teammates to take on waves of enemies. Or you can hop into the team versus team multiplayer, which sounds amazing. But, Evan, give me your thoughts.
I'm gonna look directly into the camera because I need to be as serious as I possibly can be when I say this. It's about time, EA. It's about time you did something smart with the freaking Star Wars franchise, and you just gave people what they want. You gave them a game with no microtransactions. You made it cheap, which you didn't have to do, but you made it cheap, and it's going to have a single-player campaign. It's going to have multiplayer. Just enough. Enough with all the loot box crap, and thank you. Thank you. It looks like they're finally learning their lesson, and that is good. First, there's Jedi Fallen Order, giving people a single-player Star Wars game featuring Jedis, which they wanted. Then people wanted an X-Wing TIE fighter, some sort of like a Star Wars Starfighter, some sort of thing that I asked for previously, by the way.
I remember.
I willed this into existence.
Oh, no.
You can't tell me that I didn't.
Oh, no.
But they're finally going to give us a standalone space combat game for Star Wars. Thank you. That's you don't deserve it, but thank you. It's taking you too dang long to figure out
No.
what's right in front of your face.
I'm going to stop you there. I think they do deserve it. I think, companies who take criticism and do grow from it, what more do you want? I mean, yes, it took them a little bit of time, but they came around.
Yeah.
I applaud you. This is good. This is everything I was hoping to hear from it. I don't know. I'm skeptical about $40. It makes me feel like this is going to be a small thing.
Well, I think that in the article it said that it's going to be mostly multiplayer focused. So I feel like the single player campaign that they're going to have is going to be something very small.
Like, are we talking like Titanfall 2 small?
I think we could potentially be talking like doing missions with bots or something like that. Why else charge $40? I guess the multiplayer environment has changed. There's free to play is king right now in multiplayer. So maybe they thought charging a full $60 for this would be too much of an ask whenever everybody can play Warzone or World of Warships and all, or World of whatever ships.
World of Tanks, World of
World of
Zombies,
World of Cyberbullying. We need to make that, by the way.
World of In the Bed. What?
But in the bed? It's that
There, if you caught that on the mic, that was an insanely loud thunder roll.
Was that thunder or was that Corvette that was outside?
No, I'm pretty sure that was thunder. That was loud.
There was also a really cool Corvette outside. But Joe.
Hence the opening bit, if you put that in there.
Oh, it's going to be in there. What did we talk about earlier with Madden? And you said something, there were probably loot boxes in Madden?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So EA's not really learning their lesson, are they? They're still going to put them in their sports games. They just need to get rid of them entirely. Stop.
That's never going to happen.
I know, but I wanted to.
Like, so long as the mobile marketplace shows that games with loot boxes make money, we will never see the end of it.
That's because those games are free. Most of the mobile games that have loot boxes are free. So, of course, I'll spend a little bit of money on a loot box.
And most people end up paying 3 times what they would pay for a normal price game.
That's fair. But now they're paying 3 times as much on top of the $60.
Well, then you're a sucker.
Look, you know what?
You're a sucker.
EA, you're right. You're not mean and predatory. People are just dumb.
No. I think
that is part of it. It's both of those things.
It's both of those things. It's not one or the other. It's
I won't
both.
excuse the stupid people. Stop buying that crap. But also stop selling it.
It is one thing when it's it is one thing when it's a free game. You are right about that. But like, keep track of what you're paying for, and like,
I don't think adults really are the issue. I think it's selling it to a little Jimmy down the street that doesn't know the value of $1.
Mommy, please, I want another loot box.
I just need 4 more coins so I can open this treasure chest so I can possibly get my stars. Dude, that was out of nowhere. Okay,
I loved that. That was good.
Let's get into the.
You are not reading this.
What? Oh,
find another article. Like, jump up and find another article because I am reading this one.
But this is the last one.
I know. Like,
you know what? All right,
all right. Jump on Kotaku or something.
We're gonna break tradition of the back and forth, and I'm gonna let Joe have this because this is a Joe thing, and I was going to address it to you because you so love it. But now you just get to read it, and I'm just going to sit here, not excited for you.
Oh, way to make me feel terrible, like guilt tripping me. All right.
That's what I exist for, Joe.
And Paper Mario, the Origami King, pits Mario against office supplies. This is an article by Games Radar. Jordan Gerbelik. Gerbil. Okay, let's not go there.
I don't want to be mean to the guy, but he sounds like he licks gerbils. I could be wrong. Just him and Scribbles looking gerbils.
I like that. Okay, Nintendo has released a new, closer look video on Paper Mario: The Origami King, and it explores the new battle system. I should have just let you read this one.
Now you get to burn.
Battle system, partners, and boss battles. The trailer also takes a look at some of the levels we can expect to explore, like a forest spring, autumn mountain, ninja-filled mansion, underground sewer system, which they've kind of done that in like every single Paper Mario.
Yeah, it's kind of a thing with Mario.
Yeah, and Desert Oasis, which is same thing. All the environments look great, and it's exciting that there will be some open world elements to the Origami King to allow for exploration. Now,
it's like Skyrim with Mario.
Your foremost companion is the Origami King. In the Origami King is Olivia, the King's defiant sister. But you'll also team up with a Magic Koopa, Bowser Jr., a Bomb-Omb, Toad, a little folding Bowser picture, and possibly more. As we've seen in previous trailers, the new battle system is the biggest departure from previous Paper Mario games. What Nintendo calls its new ring-based battle system lets you position enemies strategically by rotating the rings that make up combat zones. You'll want to line up as many enemies as you can and choose from different weapons to maximize takedowns. You won't just be fighting Goombas and Spinies. You'll also be facing up against much more formidable bosses, which seem to be mostly giant office supplies. There's a colored pencil set, a rubber band person, and a tape dispenser. Sounds a bit mundane, I admit, but once you see them in action, you'll find Nintendo's trademark creativity is very much present in the Origami King's boss battles. Paper Mario, the Origami King launches on Nintendo Switch July 17th.
It's so close.
It's like right around the corner.
I mean,
this game just came up out of nowhere.
Little 3 weeks away, basically.
Yeah.
I know. You're so excited. It makes me so happy to see you so excited about this game.
It's like it was like the beginning of June. It was the beginning of the month. Nintendo was like, "Hey, guess what? Here's a game you haven't heard of." And like now it's already like right on top of us. Mm-hmm. And that's how you get a game. That's how you do it.
Yeah,
not the Cyberpunk bull.
We've been talking so much about like how Microsoft and Sony are like rolling out their announcements for PS5 and Xbox Series X, and how it's been like up and down and stuff like that. But
consoles are different.
I know consoles are different, but it's just, I'm not saying that this is better, because it is different, but it is refreshing to just have a game come out and it's like, here it is.
Yeah.
Here it is. A couple months down the line, less, like basically like 2 months down the line, and Nintendo continuously shows that they are good at taking things that they've done before and tweaking them to make them new. Because like what you were saying, we've got Bob-Omb and Toad and Bowser. They're all back. You're going into these different places, and like what was it? Underground sewer systems, forest springs, autumn mountains, desert oasis, like things that I think we've seen, environments that we've seen in Mario games and stuff like that. Same thing with like a lot of the stuff that we've seen in like Mario Odyssey was a lot of stuff that had appeared in other games, like environments that seem very similar to other games. But what they do is they just tweak stuff, like with this ring-based battle system. And they tweak it and they add this stuff and it completely changes things and makes it fresh again. And I think that that's really cool. They do it all the time with Zelda, where, Zelda is basically like, you've been doing the same thing for a long time. Same thing with Mario. You're rescuing the princess every freaking time. But they just make it so fun and different every time.
I think you're absolutely right. That is the interesting thing about Origami King 2, is that it seems like I almost said Princess Zelda.
Princess Peach.
Princess Peach.
Princess Nectarine.
It seems like from the trailer that they showed when they announced this thing, like rather abruptly, it was like she was on the side of the bad guys. If you recall.
No, I don't recall that.
Yeah, it was like she basically wanted like Mario to bow down to her or whatever, and then she folded him up, like, and yeah.
Oh wow! So they got into a little couples Couple squabble there, huh?
Yeah, I don't
Is
know.
that considered domestic violence in the Mushroom Kingdom? I don't know what that is.
So yeah, Nintendo is really good at this about making something new every time. Like, they tend to have these things where people look at it and go, that's really gimmicky. But they take like this gimmicky idea and make it like as fleshed out as possible.
Yeah,
I mean,
to speak to that,
like for instance, I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, it's okay.
This is like the 4th or 5th Paper Mario, and the idea of Paper Mario to begin with is like a gimmick.
Yeah, they've taken the gimmick and turned it into its own series.
Yeah.
I've just for the first time at a friend's house, I've recently started to play through Mario Galaxy. That whole sub-series of Mario games is a gimmick. It's okay, we'll make everything a sphere.
Yeah.
And then all the levels just happen on a sphere. And it's fantastic. They're so good. These games are so good. And I'm just sad that it took me this long to play them, because they're just magical.
There's just something about it. The Galaxy games themselves, there is something about them that just like I don't know. It just captivates you. It really does.
I guess we're going to spend the last couple minutes of this podcast just gushing about Nintendo for a second.
No, because there was something else I wanted to jump into, but I was saving it. You don't even know about this. This is going to be fun.
Okay, then this will be the last thing before we jump into it, because I want the last word. Oh, did I just lose it? Did I just say I have the last word and I lost it? Oh no. Yep.
Yes.
All right, you win this round, Joseph.
No, I'll give you one more to send it back.
No, I got it. It came to me again. This is why people always try to I think that people compare Nintendo and their creativity and their whimsy and all this stuff and what they're able to do with their characters and how they never take them to this overly serious place, and they always reinvent them and stuff. It reminds me a lot of Disney. I know this isn't unique for me to say. I've heard it before, but I think that my recent playing through of Mario Galaxy kind of has me yeah, they do that, don't they? And it made me want to play more Nintendo games.
So this is actually a really good segue. So I do have one more thing to say, but one of the things that really bugs me is that Nintendo gets this little kid tag, okay, and I don't think it's fair. I think they don't get a fair shake from a lot of hardcore gamers, because they gear their game because they don't go into extreme gore most of the time, or extreme whatever, their games aren't super dark all the time, and so they get this little kid tag. And when did it become that to be an adult you had to only like dark and violent things? And here's where this tags into the next bit that I wanted to talk to you about, because anime gets the same thing. Anime tends to cover super it can touch on some very how do I want to say that? It can be very deep. Mm-hmm. Lots of anime is really deep. And some of it is just really pretty looking flashing lights. Whatever. Okay, but the stories are often really fleshed out, really well done. They're trying to say something. They do a good job at saying it. And exactly. This is why I wanted to bring it out. Hazel and I have been watching Yu Yu Hakusho, and James has been watching with us, and he runs around going, "Can I watch Yusuke?" And it's the cutest thing.
That makes me so happy.
But it's anime gets this child tag also.
Yeah, Yeah, that always really annoys me because I try to expose people that I know that aren't into it,
Right.
because there is something cool and unique there.
There are things you can do. We are over time. There are things that you can do in animation that you cannot do live action. You just can't.
For sure. That's why they did animation for a long time. It's because, like, well, we don't. How are we supposed to make this actually happen? You know,
Yeah.
like in the 30s when they made Cinderella and stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
how do we can't make this actually happen? That it'll look good and be actually entertaining.
And if you've ever seen the original Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit,
yeah,
they're actually fantastic. You know, but they had to animate the movie. Yeah, they animated the movies because how are you going to do dragons and all this in practical effects back then?
Yeah.
You just couldn't do it.
I don't know what it is. Speaking more towards video games, I would say that lately it feels like, I love The Last of Us Part 2, and I love Horizon Zero Dawn, but they're the perfect example of games that really don't move the medium forward gameplay-wise at all. And they're games.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of what we look for in games now is how they embrace storytelling and setting and building these worlds and graphics and stuff like that. So much of that encompasses games now where it used to not. That I think Nintendo is special because it focuses on gameplay, and it has like nobody at Nintendo is going into a boardroom going, we need to innovate this franchise or that franchise. What are we going to do? And they're like, well, let's tell this really dark story with Zelda, or let's make this the most beautiful thing in the world.
Well,
they kind of, you know,
I do wonder about that because of the Breath of the Wild 2. Kind of looks like it took a dark turn.
Well, I mean, even with Breath of the Wild really kind of. That's one of the only times that I've really seen Nintendo make a turn towards the rest of the industry by saying we're going to embrace open world design, which other studios have been doing forever. But then they just blew them all out of the water with it anyways.
Yeah.
You know,
I think that's what I'm saying. It's like it just every time you hear someone talk about the console wars or what systems are out there or what games are coming, it's what are the two names that get mentioned? Xbox and PlayStation, and that's it. You never hear Switch even brought up. Mm-hmm. But Switch is an honest competitor.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And it's how they can just not even be in the conversation. Just because their system isn't on the same league in power. But, what they make game-wise obviously has to be something special if they're still competing.
And in the argument between Sony and Microsoft, it's always, well, Sony's better because of the exclusives. And it's like, if you want to talk about exclusives, Nintendo.
Right.
Like, nobody has the
Hands
exclusives
down.
Nintendo have.
Yeah.
They don't. Nintendo's exclusives all are in kind of the same sort of realm. Where they do get labeled as like kiddie and more friendly and more lighthearted. They don't really have like, a first party Nintendo super dark Last of Us game.
No.
But who cares? That's why Nintendo's been successful with the Switch and has always been successful, is because they operate in this portion of the gaming space that people like, that these other two companies seem to just not want to go into. And I'm kind of glad. I'm okay with it. Like, if Sony and Microsoft want to have their grimdark back and forth, while Nintendo gets to do what they've always done, cool, whatever.
I kind of feel like, if I may have the last word.
Yeah, go ahead.
If I could talk directly to someone at Nintendo, I would say that you, with the Switch, you guys opened up yourselves to these more mature games, and while that is refreshing, don't lose your way, because I don't know, you got something special, obviously, because you're still here. I think that's enough said. just keep doing what you've been doing.
Never forget where you came from.
Thank you. I think that's everything for today.
Yeah, on that note, that's going to do it for today's episode, and we can't wait to see you guys next week. And don't forget, you can catch us on twitch.tv/nonsensory this Tuesday at 7:30, where we'll probably be playing a video game.
More Halo.
More
we are trying
Halo
to get
Reach.
through.
We're going to finish Halo Reach, and then we'll move on to other Halo games, or perhaps something else.
I don't know, because unless the people want something else, I think we're trying to get through the series because there's going to be more MCC. So,
and also, if you'd like to contribute to the show, you can always visit us on patreon.com. Support the Nonsensory podcast that way. Support us getting a capture card so that we can record some proper Last of Us footage for the eventual sit down kind of back and forth review that we're going to have about it.
yes, and we are going to. That will also allow us to do other games for Twitch and
not just PC games, which is cool. It would be cool if we could do like a Ghost of Tsushima stream or something like that, or maybe some PS5 games if that ever comes along. Either way, that's all I'll beg for right now. But again, thank you for joining us today and for joining us ever. And we really appreciate your patronage. You guys are the best.
Yes, we love you. Peace. Be easy. Be simple.
Be over easy, like my eggs.
Yeah.
Not my eggs. The eggs that I like to eat.
Should we do it one more time? Just one more.
No, that was perfect. What was wrong with that?
No, that was awful. Peace.
Be easy.